Good evening, everyone. Thank you for making it on a Thursday evening. This is the 146th episode of AIPOD. AIPOD is a live episode, and this is brought to you by AIPOD and Axel. AIPOD, as many of you know, is a WhatsApp community of nearly 1,000 AI enthusiasts. And Axel is one of a kind AI accelerator for AI, which is run by IIT Alumni Center, Bengaluru, with the support of Government of Karnataka. So with that, let me take the pleasure of introducing Dr. Ekroop Caur, Secretary of Information Technology, Biotechnology, and Science and Technology for the Government of Karnataka. Dr. Caur, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so it's an absolute pleasure as well. And I should tell everybody that Dr. Caur is also part of our community. And she's been part of the community for a very long time now.
Yeah. And I enjoy your posts.
I'm glad you find time to read them, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Caur, I want to really kind of unpack what it takes to be a startup and how to leverage Karnataka's policies supporting startups. And that's primarily what I want to focus today's conversation on. Everybody else, Dr. Caur and I will have this chat for maybe 30-35 minutes. After that, we'll open up for questions, and you'll need to post your questions in the Q&A box, not in the chat box. So I will look at the Q&A box and then ask your questions. That's how this will work. But first, we'll have a 30-35-minute chat. So Dr. Caur, let's start at the very beginning. Let's say I'm a student. Let me assume I'm in a tier 2, tier 3, maybe in a Belagavi or Mysore. Let's for the moment assume I'm in a college which doesn't really have too much of an incubation facility, but I have a bright idea. How can I leverage Karnataka's IT startup policy? What can I do?
Yeah, so in Karnataka, we have been, we want to nurture the talent right from the beginning. And one of the programs which we have been conducting for almost now, it's 5th year that we are running that program. It's called New Age Innovation Network. So through an open call, we select colleges across Karnataka. We have about 40 colleges, and we fund student projects in these colleges. So each college selects about 20 student projects. Typically, these would be, year 2 or year 3 students, because we don't want to target the final year. And second year, third year students, their projects are selected. There is a team which looks at the idea, what exactly they want to work on. And then we do funding. So part of the funding goes towards the project itself. Also, we support the institution to, create the infrastructure, because as you would know, many institutions in tier 2 towns especially don't have that kind of facility. So at the outset, we first help them build that infrastructure, some common testing facilities, some tools that would be required, and then these projects are run. In the phase 2, which has started this year, we have also tied these colleges to an anchor institute. So we have 4 anchor institutes, one in every region, and most of these are triple ITs. We also have NIT Suratkal. So these institutes then mentor the colleges, because I think there is a lot of work to be done on the capacity building of the colleges also. So these institutes, they mentor the colleges, they help them, improve the student project, give them ideas. And they are also running a TTO. Each of these anchor institutes is running a technology transfer organization, which will help in IP creation and take the student project through that entire process.
So I see. And have you seen any of these student projects kind of becoming startups?
Yes. So in the first phase, which ended last year, it ran over 4 years. We saw about 60 of these projects converting into startups. And we've also got about 50 plus IPs that have been filed.
Oh, fantastic. That means actually patents.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic. But the thing is, I need to be in one of I as a student, need to be in one of those 40 colleges.
One of those colleges, yes. If it is a student project, as of now, I think it is the colleges which will offer. But of course, there are private incubators. There are these K-Tech partners that we have in various cities. They also incubate startups. But more the trend that I am seeing is that mostly these are people who have already at least done their undergrad they get into this entrepreneurial journey who come to the incubators.
Excellent, excellent. And I've also heard of Elevate and innovation hubs. So
Yes.
those are, I mean, who are they open to?
So Elevate is an open program. Any startup which is registered can participate, which is registered with Startup Karnataka can participate. And we run this as a one-time program every year. An open call is done, typically about 1,300 to 1,400 startups participate. We select about 100 startups every year, and a grant of up to 50 lakhs is given to the startup. So these are all early stage, idea to POC stage startups that are supported, and it is across, all domains, whether it is AI, biotech, space tech. So we support startups.
And 50 lakhs, up to 50 lakhs,
Up to 50 lakhs. Up to 50 lakhs. In fact,
this
now, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, ma'am.
No, so I was just mentioning, since we were talking about Beyond Bangalore, last year, if we look at last year's call, we had more than 36 out of 100 startups which came from regions beyond Bangalore. And we also had close to 34 women-led startups. So it's a fairly diverse group that is selected.
Oh, fantastic. And you mentioned the earlier one where you have 40 colleges you support. What kind of grants do you give over there or to the students?
We give up to 10 lakhs per project.
Oh, excellent. Okay. And the selection process is kind of within the college. Is that correct?
Selection process is within the college, though the final, once the college poses those projects, we have a committee at the state level to approve it. But by and large, the selection is done at the college level.
I see. But one precondition is that they need to be registered under Startup Karnataka, right? Otherwise, they can't kind of apply to these programs.
Yeah.
That means they need to be incorporated. Is that correct?
Not for New Age Innovation Network, which is a student project program. So that's the only program where we only look at student community. They're already part of colleges. So we don't insist on them being registered as a startup. These are more like student projects. But any other program where we are funding, it has to be registered and it has to be a legal entity.
I see. And when you make these grants, even if it is 50 lakhs, let's say, do you take equity or it's just a grant?
No, it is a pure grant. We don't pick equity. There are no strings attached. It is a very open-ended kind of a grant.
Wow.
But we do support. So once we give the grant, we give 50% on selection, and the remaining is given as a second tranche. After 6 months, they are eligible for the second tranche. So through the period, we support them. We attach each of the startups to a relevant center of excellence or a K-Tech partner. And then a lot of mentorship support is provided to these startups. Through these partners, they help them, refine their idea, help them with a lot of mentorship support, market connects, and all of that. And also, one of the unique things is that we encourage them and we support them in getting their first order from a government organization.
Oh, I was actually going to come to that a little later. I'll probably come to that a little later. Now, on funding, I read somewhere there was 100 crore kind of venture fund. Is that part of this or it's separate?
No, so venture fund is separate. We have, so Karnataka actually started out a venture fund long back, and when the private VC ecosystem was not so developed, we run this venture fund through Kitwen. And right now we have two funds which are active. One is focused on the AVGC sector, which is animation, visual effects, gaming, and comics. And one fund which is on emerging technologies. So that's more open-ended fund. So these two funds are active. They invest in startups, and by far the performance has been very good. In fact, if you look at their exits and the kind of startups which have been nurtured by them, it's the results are very, very encouraging. Besides that, we are also now starting one cluster seed fund, which is going to be only for regions beyond Bangalore. It will be a 75 crore fund uh, focusing on startups outside of Bangalore. So any startup beyond Bangalore will be eligible for that. That is, again, it's not specific to any technology domain. Over and above that, we have lots of plans because startup ecosystem is so important to us. We are this year also going to start a deep tech fund. It will be on lines of Elevate, and this is again going to be a grant, but a much larger grant. We are looking at something like up to 1 crore, but it will be focused only on deep tech startups.
Okay, great. And the venture fund, of course, works like a venture fund, which means they take
Venture fund
equity,
works like a venture fund, yeah.
which means that the startup needs to be at a certain stage or in their startup journey. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it's basically what a pre-seed, seed.
Pre-seed is typically what we look at.
So, which means that ideally, I mean, if things really work, one can start at a college, start it as a project, make yourself into a startup, get the the Elevate fund. Am I right?
Yes.
And then get a seed fund from
Kitwin.
From Kitwin. That's what I was looking for.
Yes.
Okay, that's possible. Has anybody done that?
Yes, there are startups which have done that. Okay, I think String Bio is one of the startups which has. There are many startups, who have been able to avail of all the programs that we have.
Okay. Wow. You just mentioned about deep tech and emerging areas. So, if again, in terms of steps, let's take the Elevate, for instance. You said there's a call you make, open call, and you apply through it, and then there is, you get 1,000 applications. Am I right? Something like that, right?
Yes, that's what you about 1,000 plus actually.
And only some are called. All are called.
All are called. So we do a data sufficiency test. So where, basic eligibility criteria like being registered and all of that is checked, which more or less, except for there'll be about 100 odd people or 70 to 100 which get eliminated at that stage. But still there are about 1,200 startups typically, then they are put before a jury, and we have multiple juries, and all of these are independent of the department. They are all experts from various fields. So there is there are two levels of pitching before the jury. There is a first level where startups which are beyond Bangalore, they pitch online, whereas those which are in Bangalore, they pitch in person. Then a selection is done, and then there is a final second round of selection where after which about 100 is the target. 101, 102 startups are selected every year.
Wow. And what does one look? Where does one look for? I mean, this announcement, does it come at a particular month in the year?
Yeah, normally it is around August, September that we start the process. All information pertaining to our programs, schemes, various calls that we do, everything is available on our website. And the department is also very active on social media. So we disseminate everything on our various social media handles. And then through various incubators and our KTech partners also, we see that this information is given to relevant people. Okay.
And when you say social media, I think most of at least our audience is on LinkedIn. So I suppose they can look out on LinkedIn.
Yeah. ITBTGOK is the, by the name by which we go on social media.
Okay. And I'll add that to the notes of this podcast, by the way.
Sure.
I'll do that. Yeah. Okay, great. Then now I also read somewhere that you reimburse costs of patents and R&D.
Yes.
I didn't quite understand. It'll be great if you can unpack that for us. What exactly should I do as a startup? Because I know that even the central government has recently announced an R&D fund. So I'm just curious to know what as a startup I should do to avail such funds.
So under the startup policy, we give reimbursement for IPs, for filing of IP. Up to 75% of the cost of IP filing is taken as a reimbursement. So once you file your
you spend it first.
You spend it first, whatever is the expenditure incurred for filing of the IP. Up to 70% is reimbursed by the department. Similarly, we have other incentives under the policy. There is if you do some quality testing and quality certification, part of the cost of quality certification is also reimbursed. We have incentives like GST reimbursement on the goods that are sold. If there is a GST, which is levied, then the state portion of the GST is reimbursed to the startup. So these are various benefits which are given under the policy, the startup policy of Karnataka.
And when it comes to patent, you have patent is based on geography. So can you reimburse patents filed outside India?
As long as they are a startup registered in Karnataka.
Oh, I mean, all these grants anyway, that's a basic requirement, right?
Yeah, that's the basic requirement.
Because US patents are a little more expensive, I'm aware.
Yes.
Yeah. So even that, you're saying 70% gets reimbursed.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Wonderful. Okay. Now, you did mention about helping startups connect with the industry. Okay, because that is, I think, one of the most important requirements for startups, because most of the startup founders, especially the young ones, are just out of college. They don't have much, shall I say, access to the industry. So how does it really work? I mean, do you have kind of forums which you have created where they can join, or does it go through mentors? How exactly does that work in terms of industry connects?
So there are multiple forums which are there. One, of course, we have now started a portal which is maintained by the department. It is called Propel. The basic idea behind this portal is to connect startups to industry and to government, and also vice versa, an opportunity for industry to put out their problem statements, and startups can look at it and give the solution. So in startups who are here and are listening and have something, that they are already at a stage where they have come up with a solution, they should actually put up their catalogs or lookbooks on the portal. And that portal will create a visibility across industry and government departments. So it's a very, it's an initiative basically to connect with industry. Besides that, we also run a lot of events. The department runs a lot of events, both in Bangalore and outside of Bangalore. Bangalore Tech Summit is very well known. This year, we will be doing the 28th edition of Bangalore Tech Summit. That actually gives a very good visibility to startups. In fact, we have a separate enclosure for startups, and each year we see about 400 to 500 startups which participate and in the exhibition. So that is another forum. Similarly, for AVGC sector, we have GAFEX, which is an event that we sponsor. Again, startups have an opportunity to showcase their solutions. Besides that, in beyond Bangalore also, we have various cluster level events which are done through the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission. So they run these programs.
Sorry, ma'am, what exactly is a cluster?
So government has taken up this, a very proactive approach in developing cities outside of Bangalore, tier 2 and tier 3 cities that we call emerging cities. So we have identified 6 clusters that we would like to focus on. In the first phase, we are working on 3 clusters. Mysore is one, Hubli, Dharwad, Belgaum is the second cluster, and Mangalore, Udupi is the third cluster. So these 3 clusters, we are doing a whole lot of initiatives in these places to see that the startup ecosystem develops. Going forward, we will also be looking at Tumkur, Shimoga, and Kalburgi. So these are the clusters.
I see.
So we have cluster events which also give an opportunity to startups to connect. Besides that, we have this very unique concept of centers of excellence. The government is running about 20 centers of excellence. Each of these COE is focused on a particular technology domain. And through these centers of excellence, also we connect startups with industry. In fact, each center of excellence does have at least 5 to 10, industry partners. They actively engage with the startups. They give mentorship support, market support, and also connect them with the relevant stakeholders in the ecosystem.
Sure. I should point out to viewers that Axel, which you see on top of my screen, is one such center of excellence. It's the Center of Excellence for Artificial Intelligence. which has been set up at IIT Alumni Center along with support of Government of Karnataka.
Yeah.
So anyway, coming back, you also mentioned that startups can actually get sell their service or product to government entities, that is Karnataka government. How does that work?
So Elevate, I was mentioning under Elevate, that is, the first order we try and get them from government. That is one, that's only for Elevate winners. But besides that, you'll be aware that all government procurement is through is governed by the Karnataka Transparency in Procurement Act. So the act was amended about 3 years back to create a special window for startups, because typically startups could not compete in government procurements because they would not meet the turnover criteria and the criteria of having worked with government earlier, experience and all that. So all those conditions have now been relaxed, and there is a special window for startups to bid. Also, all the fee and all that has been is kept nominal or is completely waived for startups. So for startups to participate in government procurement, we have a program called Preferential Market Access. Every few months, we do a call and we impanel startups. The impaneled startups can then bid for government tenders.
Oh, I see. Again, to get to know about this, is LinkedIn a good channel?
Yeah,
and what handles to follow on that?
Yeah, LinkedIn would be a good channel to know when the PMA call is happening, Preferential Market Access Empanelment call is happening. But for detailed information, you should refer to our website. We have a website which gives complete end-to-end information on all the programs.
Okay. And the website is?
ITBT GOK.
Okay, ITBT GOK. And there you got to look for these. Okay,
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, great. Because most of I know most of our viewers are very active on LinkedIn. I've seen it myself. So, I think now they'll start following many of these. Is there a single channel in LinkedIn or multiple channels?
No, only single. Otherwise, then it becomes very difficult.
Correct.
By one handle that the department runs, that is ITBT.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that channel. In fact, I follow it as well. So
Yeah.
Okay. ITBT channel, you follow, you'll get most of this information. Okay.
Of course, we also disseminate information through various, we do active outreach. We go to colleges, we go to co-working spaces. So those are places where you will get to know, but certainly at any point in time, if you want to see, website would be the best place.
Okay, fine. So this is with government departments directly. What about public sector? Is there any programs for them or with them?
Public sector entities?
Yes, right.
Yeah, so they also, at least the state government PSUs, they procure through the same portal.
I see. Okay.
So it's all done through the e-portal, procurement portal. So for that also, they become eligible after registering under the PMA program.
Okay, so once I as a startup get empaneled, I can bid for pretty much everything which comes out.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, great, fine. Now,
because
what about
all procurement in Karnataka at least happens through one portal only?
Okay, excellent. Okay. What about international? I know this is Karnataka. We are doing a lot within Karnataka, but I've reached a stage where I want to take my product outside, or maybe my product is very appealing outside the country. Is there any assistance provided for that?
So again, through the policy, we do reimbursement for any costs for startups who are going abroad to participate in events. Their accommodation and their travel and all of that is taken care of. Of course, partially, not fully. Part of the cost is taken, and also cost of participating, in the sense there would be a fee which you have to pay for participating in any exhibition that is taken. So that is completely open-ended. There are no limits in terms of how many numbers we do every year. Anyone can apply, any startup can apply and avail of those benefits. Besides that, we do a curated market access program where we take about 4 to 5 delegations every year. Each delegation has about 8 to 10 startups. And these are thematic, market access programs. For example, Last year, we did a program with Australia, and we took clean tech startups. So all startups which are in the domain of clean tech, we had taken them. And then through a launchpad partner in the foreign country, we try and get appropriate meetings fixed for the startups. We also try and get them connect with the relevant industries in that country, and also with their regulatory authorities. So to see that they are able to extend and do business in those countries. Similarly, recently we had taken a delegation of about 10 startups to Morocco. And the kind of response that all the 10 startups got was tremendous, because there is so much demand, and the kind of technologies that we are developing which can solve problems at scale. There was huge traction, and many startups actually are now looking at actively at doing some kind of partnerships and taking it forward.
And for this, all I need to be is part of the Startup Karnataka program. I don't need to be part of Elevate or any of those. Is that right?
No.
Okay. And again, call for whatever.
Proposal
Call for
will be
these
done
through the website. I apply for these.
Yes.
Okay. Lovely. Okay. And continuing on, you talked about tier 2, tier 3. Now, based on the clusters, you have specific programs. You said. Is there special funding also available for these specific areas outside Bangalore?
Yeah. So all incentives that we give under the policy for beyond Bangalore, the quantum is always slightly higher, slightly more support, more generous support. Also, this year, actually, a very, very large program has been announced in the budget. It is called Local Economy Accelerator Program. It's a 1,000 crore program, which Government of Karnataka has announced. It is still in the works. But through this program, we will be setting up, TBIs, centers of excellence, and we will be supporting private incubators and accelerators across Karnataka. Besides that, we are looking at running a large EDP program, Entrepreneurship Development Program, in collaboration with colleges and universities, to see that we build this entrepreneurial culture in these emerging clusters. We will also be doing a lot of boot camps, hackathons, ideathons, all of that, and we are also looking at setting up innovation labs at a very large scale across Karnataka. So under this program, there are a lot of initiatives which are focused on building the ecosystem outside of Bangalore.
Super. Now let me come to actually what's, I think, most important, which the founders will have in their mind, which is speed. Okay, so let's say I apply for a grant. Typically, how long does it take for me to get it? Assuming I meet all the criteria.
Yeah. So Elevate, which is our flagship program, with full confidence and lot of pride, I can say that in the last 3 years, each Elevate call has been finished end to end within 100 days. From day one, when we call for application, to the entire selection process, to disbursement of first installment, we are doing it in 100 days.
So money in the bank in 100 days.
Money in the bank in 100 days. We actually facilitate opening of bank accounts. We, everything we handhold and support to ensure that within 100 days, money is in your hands and you can, pursue the idea or your whatever you're working on. All other reimbursements also, typically it is 60 to 90 days is what the time is taken to process any application.
Okay, great. And is there any visibility on the process in terms of some kind of dashboard available to the founders where they can track these applications through various stages?
Not really, I don't think. But see, Elevate anyways, it is a 3-level there are 2 stages for clearance, and also there is announcement of results at the first stage when we look at data sufficiency. So in that sense, you kind of over the 100 days keep getting updates on what stage
where you stand.
Okay.
And you'll also
Yeah, on other
Sorry,
things,
go
I
ahead.
don't see on reimbursements and all. I don't. I mean, there isn't much that is to be done, so we don't have a kind of a dashboard. When I say 60 days, that is like the outer limit. Sometimes, I mean, many a times actually the reimbursements are processed much faster.
I see. And how do they, I mean, is there kind of a specific email address people send these to, or do they have contacts, within the government who facilitate, help? How does this really work? I mean, is there a support organization as well?
So the Karnataka Innovation Technology Society, KITS as we call it, is the nodal agency for the entire interface with the startups. And within KITS, we have a startup cell, which is actually, looking at the implementation of all the programs. So contact details and everything is available on our website, and one can reach out. We have a fairly young, agile, and a proactive team who's willing to help all the time.
Wonderful, wonderful to hear that. Okay, switching gears a little bit, Dr. Kaur, connecting with the programs which come out of the center. I mean, recently we had Sri Abhishek Singh as well on our podcast. We talked about the India AI mission. So many of the programs, recently we heard about the program for R&D as well. How does the Karnataka state programs connect to these, or do they just run independently?
One is eligible for Government of India grants, irrespective of where you are in India. So Karnataka startups, and I think because of the dominance of the large number of startups, most of the Government of India programs, large chunk of the benefit is actually flowing to Karnataka. And when it comes to aligning, while we generally have the same format in which the state also supports, most programs do have a top-up kind of a support from Government of Karnataka. So whatever Government of India benefits are coming under various programs. In addition to that, state government also tops it up with their incentives and subsidies. So we don't really, if you have got Government of India grants, we don't eliminate or discourage you from Government of Karnataka grants. In that sense, we work on the same lines. And when it comes to National AI Mission in particular, the state is collaborating very closely with Government of India. In fact, there are two very prominent initiatives which would be started under National AI Mission. So one is a center of excellence on applied AI solutions that we are going to start, and along with METI, and that is the National AI Mission, and NASSCOM. It's a tripartite kind of a thing. Then there is another center of excellence. It is called, it is on AI for sensors. That we are doing along with LCR. So these are two prominent, interfaces that we are going to have with the National AI, under the National AI Mission. Along with that, we are working with the mission to develop data sets. Karnataka has a fairly robust, systems in place. So across departments, there is an effort to collaborate and build those data sets and put them across on the national portal.
Okay, cool. We are at 7:33, ma'am. I'll just ask one, maybe two questions, and then we'll turn over to the audience.
Sure.
So given all this, I mean, this is fantastic really to get to know about these many programs. So in your opinion, who are two standout startups which have benefited and thrived and maybe even exited from through your programs?
So since we are talking mostly to the AI audience, I was thinking of two startups. One is Niramai AI, which is a biotech startup, which has developed a solution for early detection of breast cancer based on, and they use AI algorithms to detect it. It is at a much earlier stage than many prevalent diagnostic techniques which are available. They have done tremendously well. They are globally recognized and are doing exceedingly well in their.
And they came out of the Elevate or one of these programs?
They are Elevate winners, and they are supported by the department at various other stages as well. Then we have Core Over AI. I am sure you are aware of them. Core Over AI, in fact, Ankush himself met, and he was telling me how they could not qualify for the first two rounds of, I mean, twice they applied for Elevate, they did not qualify, they came through in the third attempt. But he was so appreciative of the transparency and the kind of professional, selection that was done. They are Elevate winners, and they are also collaborating actively with the department in many other initiatives. There are many more startups, actually, I can go on, and there are startups which have taken multiple benefits. In fact, for Elevate winners, just before we open to questions, we have also now tied up with Let's Venture, and they are helping them get further grants through various VCs and various industry.
Through their platform as well. Yeah.
It's a platform. That's another added support that we are looking at. Besides our own VC fund through Kitwen, Let's Venture actually is exposing them to the best and the largest VCs in the country, and also helping them, improve their pitch, to improve their product in such a way that they get interest from VCs.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. And also one other point which I caught on is that you mentioned Ankur. He made it into Elevate in the third attempt, which means there's no limit in terms of how many times you could try. Is that correct?
There's no limit.
Okay, that's an important message for everybody as well. You need to be added. Final question. Okay, there are a whole bunch of founders, want to be founders on AIPod. What's the one message you want to leave with them before we open up to questions?
I think it's a very, very exciting time, and there is so much happening in India, and there is so much support from government that is coming. I think the kind of programs which the government is today rolling, whether it is the National AI Mission, we just 2 days back, Government of India came up with a huge support for R&D. And the kind of support which is being given to startups. I think this is the best time to, build on your ideas. And we already have a very, very good talent ecosystem. There are people who are in the ecosystem who know and understand how to build a startup right from scratch. And if you are in Bangalore, you will get all the support, both from government and also from the ecosystem. I think the kind of mentorship support which is required, and I have interacted with many startups who say that, sometimes just one interaction with a good mentor completely changes their course of, progress. So I feel this is a very, very good time, and nothing better to, build your own ideas and take them forward now.
Lovely, lovely. No better time to be an entrepreneur.
No better time to be an entrepreneur, true.
Yeah, lovely. So, ma'am, let me switch to questions from the audience. We have a question here from Rajesh. Can you inform us, we selected AI project under Rajiv Gandhi Entrepreneurship Program, will be eligible for Mysore Cluster Seed Fund support. AI project requires fund more than allocated budget in RGAP. I'm not too sure what the question really is. If you can, follow what.
So RGP is a program where we support people with a monthly support of up to 25,000 for a period of 1 year. And this is basically meant for people who have, who have an idea, they are working, but they don't want to quit their jobs, and, because of the financial security. So this is like a financial security net that we have created for you to take the plunge on an entrepreneurial path. If you are in RGEP, if you are taking support under that, you will still be eligible to take funding under the Beyond Bangalore Cluster Seed Fund. That is the question that he's asking. Yes.
Oh, I want to unpack this. You're saying that actually working people can also kind of start without quitting their job?
No, if they want to quit and they are not able to take that plunge, so we support them to quit by giving them this monthly support of 25,000.
I see. Yeah. So there is support coming after they quit, but they want to,
yes.
I mean, for what period do you continue the support?
1 year, 1 year.
Wow. And again, how do you apply? Do you call for applications
every year? There is an
open
call. Yeah, there is an open call.
And this is called Rajiv Gandhi
Entrepreneurship program.
Okay, lovely, lovely. Wonderful to hear. This is the first time, ma'am, I'm hearing about this. This is great. Okay. Appreciate, we request for full support for attending conference and event for MIPCOM, Kids Screen, American Film Market, etc.
Yeah,
Well,
MIPCOM, and so must be some AVGC startup. So right now it is 30%. 30% is reimbursed. He's seeking full support, which is something we will consider, but I don't think full will be possible. But under certain curated programs, we are going up to 50% support even now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so we are
program...
considering actually to increase it to 50%.
Yeah. No, I don't think there'll ever be 100% because you do want skin in the game from kind of all parties. So that's understandable. Yeah. Will you help us for pitching with clients in reach out to partner studios across globally? This is a very specific question. Partner studios. Not too sure what he means by this, but you did talk about the programs which you have for international audience.
So if I mean, it seems like a specific studio or studios that he has in mind. We have a center of excellence on AVGC, which is supports this segment of the industry. If they get in touch with the center, I'm sure they'll be able to help them with relevant connects.
So, and what is the center of excellence called?
It is called COE AVGC only.
AVGC. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. What is the meaning of being registered in Karnataka? Does the ROC has to be in Karnataka or GST registration is enough?
This is actually the ROC has to be in Karnataka.
That means you need to be kind of headquartered in Karnataka. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And he's asking, is GST registration enough? I suppose not. You need to go through the formal process. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Great. And it's not just ROC also, no? You need to kind of empanel yourself with a Startup Karnataka program. Is that correct?
Yeah. So empanelment with Startup Karnataka is easy. It's a very short registration process. It can be done online. So that doesn't take time.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay. Okay. So I think somebody's just introducing himself. Okay. How is Karnataka government supporting startup for sustainable mining industry? Does it come under IT actually?
Yeah, so some things pertaining to mining also do come under. I mean, there are so many tech solutions which are there, technology-based solutions which can help in sustainable mining. So we don't actually, I mean, we are not running any center or any specific thing on that, but there are so many startups which are there in this domain. And like any other startup, we will support them.
Okay, great. Okay, I just saw the post about Grassroots Innovation Challenge. Any idea when applications will open?
I think applications are already open. They have just started out. I can check the exact date, but I think it's just opened up.
Yeah, they can basically check on the website, right?
Yeah, they can check on the website.
Okay, and also happy to share that I'm an innovator under the Rajiv Gandhi Entrepreneurship Program. Big thanks to Startup Karnataka. There you go. Okay. Okay. What is the area that the government of Karnataka is most interested in for startup industry to solve? Is there a priority? That's the question, I think.
For the government, solve for the government?
Yeah.
So I think government is so diverse in its interests. There is no one area that one is looking at. But yes, government is actively engaged with the startup community in particular, in health sector, in agri sector. Agri, there are a lot of programs which are being done, and a lot of startup solutions also which are being adopted. Similarly, we are quite keenly supporting, and actually the department is actively engaging to see that the space tech startups and their solutions are adopted by government. So already some space tech startups are working with government. For example, SatSure is working with the minor irrigation department on helping them with with the planning for their lakes and their water bodies. So I think we are more interested in overall development of the ecosystem, and government, each department has a lot of appetite. I think each one of them would be happy to engage and see that there is work which is done.
And that connect into the departments is kind of facilitated through the IT department. Is that
Yeah, we
correct?
do facilitate. We facilitate.
Okay, great. Okay, great. I think many of the folks have just introduced themselves, so I'm going to ignore those on the Q&A. This person wants to know about the Tech Hub event in Mysore and really wants to see if he can meet you there.
Yeah,
I
I'm
suppose
there
you're going
tomorrow morning. I'm there tomorrow morning.
Oh, tomorrow morning. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So there you go. That's also answered. I think we have covered most of the questions. Yeah, so a lot of people are appreciating the work being done by Government of Karnataka. I see one more saying that they've really been helpful. That's really good to know, everybody. Thank you. So on. I think we have covered questions as well, and we are 46 minutes into this podcast. So thank you everyone for joining, and Dr. Kaur, fantastic, wonderful to answer all these questions. Many of these answers I myself didn't know, even though I have gone through the website, and I've been actively involved with one of the COEs as well. So thank you so much, Dr. Kaur.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah, bye. Good night, everybody. Today's recording will be available by tomorrow evening. Thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Bye.